Hi, I'm Stacy with Edgewater Creative.
And I'm Tia with Done Classy Events.
We're two small business owners who reside in the beautiful city of Dunedin, Florida.
We love our charming city on the Gulf and want to share with you all it has to offer.
Join us as we chat with business owners, event hosts, and charities located in Dunedin and other surrounding communities.
So come along and meet us on Main Street.
Hello and welcome, everyone, to another episode of your favorite podcast, Meet Us on Main Street, with Tia.
That's me. And Stacy.
That's me.
And you get to hear our lovely voices bi-weekly, and you just can't get enough of us, right? I know. God, I think that was probably one of the worst openings we've ever done.
I thought it was just fine. Anywho. Tia, how are you? What's going on? What's the haps? What's the 411?
Oh, just living the dream one different day at a time. Don't have to wear my mask into things anymore, which is pretty fucking cool. So
Yes, it's a whole freeing experience. So listeners, Tia and I went out to lunch today for a team building and talking about all things season 2 to come.
Oh, that's right, because we haven't announced yet, but we are taking a little summer siesta. But don't you worry, because we will still be posting our greatest hits that we are getting from you guys, what your favorite episodes have been over the past year and a half without one break of doing podcast episodes. So we're going to be posting some of your favorites over the summer, and that will be starting in August. And then extra bonus, I found out how to put virtual movie nights into audio form. So we will be posting a few of our favorite virtual movie nights that we do once a month with our perma guest, Brian. So stay tuned for that.
Perhaps the search for Tia.
Perhaps. We won't do the full 8 hours because about 4 of it is just the chair. So it'd be very silent and awkward. But yeah, we're going to definitely do the search part because it is pretty darn funny. And if you don't know what we're talking about, go onto our Facebook page and check out the video section, The Search for Tia. It's a lot like the Star Trek film Search for Spock, just as riveting.
It's a classic.
Exactly. But yeah, so, living the dream, doing this podcast thing that we do. And me and John are going on a little mini vacay on Sunday. We're going to go check out the Florida caverns, which I have been talking about forever, but I don't make it to that side of the state because it's essentially the South when you go over that way. So I just never end up making it that way. So this will be a first.
Are you staying in a hotel, a cabin?
Oh, yes. Definitely staying in a hotel. I am not camping. And apparently a lot of that area is still fucked up from Hurricane Michael. Like their campgrounds at the caverns are still shut down. So that definitely the hurricane did a number on a lot of stuff, but definitely did it on that park too. So no. And we do Bonnaroo once a year. And that's going to be in September where I have to do a week's worth of camping. And that's my quota for the entire year. No air
Understood.
So yeah, so we're going to be staying in a hotel, do some tubing, check out some caves and shit. So,
very nature loving for you.
We wanted to get out of town. And the problem with Florida, because we both really like mountains and nature and doing that stuff, but the problem with Florida is that all of our nature is exactly the same. Like exactly the same. Like you could go to a park on the other side of the state. It's going to look exactly like Hammock Park right down the street because we don't have a lot of diversity because we are built on a swamp. So when you've lived here your entire life, which has only been 21 years, obviously, but you've seen a lot of the park life. So it's going to be nice to like still be in the state, but like see something different. So
were you referring to John's age when you said 21 years?
No, that was my age, but thanks for calling me out there.
By the way, why do I look so short right now? Do I look short to you?
No, you kind of actually, now that you mention it, are you slouching? Is your
I'm a
chair
little
down?
slouched. This is me normally like normal height, but I still feel like I'm in miniature.
I think it's the hoodie. Maybe the hoodie is making you feel like, is it oversized
Maybe
one?
a little bit.
Why are my arms so weird? I don't
Did
understand.
you, unrelated, and this is probably getting cut out, but did you see on Facebook the post that I did about Dominic and I doing both editing a video for our client?
Was it when you jumped out of a bush?
No, that was my reel.
Oh,
So
yeah.
yeah,
No,
I'm trying to step up my Insta game with reels, which now that I say that I haven't posted one in like 2 weeks. But but no, I did a Facebook post for my business, Edgewater Creative. Um
what was that?
about
I've never
how
heard of it.
Dominic and I couldn't like agree on the same vision for this video we were doing.
Mhm.
So I was like, you know what? I'm doing my own version, you do your own version, and we'll just, we'll do separate videos and see which one the client likes. And so we both did it, which obviously we did double the work, but we are that
You had
committed to doing a good job for our client.
and you had to prove your husband wrong on top of it.
Exactly. So this is how this all comes together, related to my miniature chairness. So I was just going to say, so I posted a picture of us working, doing that. And Christy, who we had on as a former guest of the Edinburgh Fringe, which is
And
now the
now,
Ivory Palms,
mhm.
she commented and said, I think Dominic has an advantage with his fancy chair because he has this like monster
Yep.
fancy chair and I have your your old one that I traded you.
Yes. His is a little bit like a dark Lord Sith type of a vibe on his. Like he's like, I am
Yes.
meant to get work done in this chair.
Yeah, I posted in reply to that a gif of Dr. Evil in his chair.
When it spins,
Yeah.
you can't like it.
Yeah, it's a lot like that. I have this tiny little chair compared to his fancy padded leather one, but
Yes, but yours just cost you a old set of lights, where his, I'm sure, costs a pretty penny. So,
very true. Very
yeah.
true.
Well, that's exciting. Is that what you've been up to?
Yeah, we've been working a lot lately. So so fun fact about that job, we after doing all that extra work and we watched our videos and they were pretty similar. he he ended up changing the music on his that ended up sounding, and I was wearing my headphones so he couldn't hear it, but he ended up picking music that sounded a lot like the one I chose. And then we used like similar clips. Mine was just shorter than his was more like a full length for a website, mine was more like a for like a social, for like using on social media. um and then also I was using an effect and he did kind of cheat and look and see that I was using that effect and was like, that's a cool effect. And then he used it. So they ended up looking pretty similar. So we just sent both to the client and said, here you go. Here's a teaser and here's a full length. Let us know what you
Yeah.
think. And she loved both of them. So we'll never know who actually won that challenge. I guess we both won,
You
but
both won. Exactly. And you almost melded his mind to yours, because all of your ideas just pretty much went over into his. So
mhm,
you were
mhm.
right.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah.
Well, Stacy wins. This
Yeah,
is her
I
show,
think
so
so.
she gets to win. All right. Did we give out our lunch where we went to lunch at? Shout out. Ohana.
We did not. Yeah, we had a wonderful lunch at Ohana Cafe in Dunedin on 580.
The old Pizza Hut. If any of you all
Yeah.
remember back when it was the Pizza Hut buffet, prior to being, I think it was an insurance company for a hot minute there. And then it turned into Ohana's
No.
new space.
That's so funny. I forgot completely that it was a Pizza Hut until you said that.
How
and
can
then it
the
brought the
shape of
memories
it?
back.
I mean,
The memories
literally
came
just
rushing back.
It's always got the hut. Yeah, I really do like that place. They have a lot of great vegan options. And if you're ever been skeptical of trying out the vegan lifestyle, I would definitely say check that place out.
There's an online class for that.
There's also an online class, apparently. It's just classes for everything. But I would say check out that place because they make such great concoctions and recipes that you do not even realize you're eating vegan. Like they put vegan A's on everything, and willingly I would never go to the store before and just I'm gonna buy vegan A's and waste $5
Explain
or whatever.
What vegan A's is for those that may not know.
Fake mayonnaise or non-dairy mayonnaise, the vegan version of it, but it tastes great. So they do a really great job there, especially if that was how I first tiptoed into vegan food, was eating there. So and they serve breakfast all day.
Smoothies as well.
And you can get coconut milk or almond milk as a creamer in your coffee, and you don't have to pay extra, which is pretty awesome.
That is nice.
So yeah, shout out to Ohana. I can't say anything right. I can't do anything right.
The hula.
The hula. Well, back in their old location in Palm Harbor, I don't think they do it at this one, but the one when they're in Ozona, they used to have fire dancers and hula hoopers and all that kind of stuff over at that place too. Fancy. But I don't think it's as conducive in their new location for that. But
the Pizza Hut was not built for fire dancers.
Weird. I feel like all Pizza Huts should have been built for
That's the name of this episode.
Ooh,
very esoteric.
Well, I think I've said all I want to say to you today, Stacy. We just
Well, farewell to you.
Let's get on with the show, shall we?
All right. So today on the show, we have the founder of the Salty Soul Foundation, John Helms. Stay tuned. All right. We're here today with John Helms of the Salty Soul Foundation. Welcome to the podcast, John. How are you today?
Doing well. Thank you for having me.
Good. We're happy to have you. So let's start out. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay. So short version. I'm John Helms. My wife and I, Mary, started the Salty Soul clothing line in 2011. After starting the clothing brand, we realized that it was missing something. We just weren't sure what it was. But being a Dunedin resident and how often we visited the Causeway, we quickly figured out what it was that we needed to do. So we wanted to give back. So that is when we started thinking about how to make something our own that benefited Dunedin residents and anyone that comes to Florida.
Mm-hmm. And that's one of the shirts that you're wearing as well. Is that right?
That is correct.
Yeah, nice. Are you the designer of it or is Mary?
Neither. So in 2011, you can see our early designs. If you were to go to the site, you can see that we attempted to do it. In 2019, we decided that this was not what we should be doing. So we actually paid an artist, and the guy's amazing. He completely rebranded everything for us.
Nice. Sometimes you need to call that professional in with an objective eye to just be like, you know what? This will really pop if you do it this way. So what inspired you to start the organization?
So, like I said previously, we wanted to give back. We wanted to give back to the community. We weren't sure how to do that. We are not forever residents of, Dunedin, not even Florida. We're both born and raised in Mississippi. and we vacationed down here for years. We decided to move here 11 years ago and never looked back. But in early 2017, a local couple in Dunedin asked us to help them with a charity event that they were putting on, where they were going to travel up the East Coast and volunteer at different small local communities along the East Coast from Dunedin to Maine. And they wanted to help spread the word. So they organized a beach cleanup at the Causeway. There were 8 of us that did the cleanup. A couple of hours, maybe 100 pounds of trash. But when that was over, my wife and I went home and said, this is it. This is the purpose. This is what we need to do.
Mm-hmm. That's wonderful. All right. So tell us about the Salty Soul Foundation.
Okay. So since starting in 2017, where, like I said, there were 8 of us that did a cleanup. After that, we took a couple of months, got our plans together, and decided we were going to do monthly cleanups at the Causeway. Since then, so we have collected over 7 tons of trash, covering 90 miles of the Causeway and other beaches, because we don't always do it at the Causeway. Upon request, we will go elsewhere. That's our ultimate plan, but as of right now, we're at the Causeway every month. So 90 miles of beach, and we have had over 3,000 volunteers to date, amassing over 180,000 volunteer hours.
Wow.
So, like I said, most of these are at the Causeway, but we have been asked to do cleanups up in Newport Richey, around Tampa Bay, but that's part of how we plan on growing. So when we established ourselves as a 501c3, that allowed us to do that. Mm-hmm. And so we have been reaching out to corporate sponsors and trying to get donations to help us grow that. Our plan is to cover the Gulf Coast and cover the East Coast. And so we're working on chapters, Panhandle, East Coast, Key West. We've got people talking to us from South Carolina and Rhode Island, of all places. That's kind of weird, but Rhode Island. So they have been reaching out, and we just can't do it. We're only 2 people trying to organize it right now.
Wow, that's amazing. Mm-hmm. And that's only since 2017, you said too, and the word has already gotten all the way to Rhode Island. So, you're going to take over the country soon enough.
Well, I mean, we'd love to.
Yeah, I had seen in April was your one in Newport Richey, because when I was looking at you had one up there. Yeah.
So it just depends upon the need and the request for rotating around to different areas other than the Causeway. Yeah,
right now it's I don't want to say need, it's more a request. Yeah. We plan every month except for July. That's the only month we take off. So we plan on being at the Causeway every month, second Saturday of the month. And if someone wants us to do it somewhere else, we ask that's cool, we'll do it, but let's do it in 4 months from now. And we'll not do the one in Dunedin that month and do one elsewhere. Like I said, it's just the 2 of us. And when just this past weekend, we had 315 volunteers out at the Causeway for a 3-hour slot on Saturday. Nice. And we did have 2 people show up to help. One of our board of directors showed up with his girlfriend, and if they wouldn't have showed up, we would have been swamped. But
now
it is what it is.
Tell us about that most recent cleanup. So you had 315 volunteers, and do you have a final weight yet on the amount of trash that was picked up?
Yeah, so that one had just over 850 pounds of trash.
Wow.
Ooh. It's amazing how much trash gets collected on the Causeway. Like, I'll see people doing cleanups, and then the next day it's completely trashed all over again. It's insane.
It is. And we've asked people, so that we work closely with the city of Dunedin with the Parks and Recs Commission, because we go ahead and give we gave our 2021 calendar back in December. We gave them the calendar for the year. And we work closely with them because there are smaller groups that want to come out. Just maybe it's a work event or just a small organization that come out and they want to do a cleanup. And we always plan ours in advance so that they can suggest to the smaller groups to go before us. Mm-hmm. Don't ever follow us. And that's just because we will have a large group. We will clean the trash a lot. We will clean the beach. And I don't want the smaller groups to get disappointed because they didn't pick up much.
Right.
The group that we have, they're out there once a month. And if they get 300 pounds or they get 1,500 pounds, they are just as happy. Mm-hmm. It's the smaller groups. So and I like that they kind of schedule around us, before us, after us, that type of thing.
Now, when you do a causeway cleanup, T and I were actually supposed to come out this past weekend, and then I unfortunately got called into work, so we weren't able to. So we're planning on doing the June one. Mm-hmm. But do you kind of like systematically work along the entire length of the causeway?
So it depends on the number of people, really. So pre-COVID, we had slowly gotten up to the 200 to 300 volunteer range. And then COVID hit, and we, for a year, it was just, we'd go out and clean when we went out. So when it gets to be over 100 people, it's the same speech. Every time somebody walks up, I give them the same speech. And it's very animated. We cover bridge to bridge, both sides of the road. And if it gets crowded, go to the other side of the bridges. Mm-hmm. So if you see somebody with a bucket, walk past them. But usually they're in groups. It is definitely covered bridge to bridge. Mm-hmm.
I like that you say that, because T and I have done a couple trail cleanups, and you always see everyone clumped together, and then there's a bunch of garbage over here on the other side of the trail, but everyone's focused on the 2 cigarette butts and straw right here. So it's like, spread out. Yeah. Clean up as much as you can. These people have it covered. Go over there.
Yeah.
So speaking of COVID, have you noticed an increase in the amount of garbage since COVID? Just out of curiosity, as far as like increase. Masks or?
Not really mask. Yeah, if you're walking through a parking lot, yes. But at the beach, no, because nobody's wearing them to the beach.
True.
They're with their family, they're with their friends, that they're not going to be wearing a mask anyway. Mm-hmm. So you don't see that. So no, that hasn't really picked up. Did we see an influx of trash because of COVID? Yes. When the beaches were closed for X amount of time earlier in 2020, mm-hmm. As soon as they said the beaches are open, stay 10 feet apart, and had all these different protocols and everything, yeah, it was horrible because everybody was rushing to the beach. Mm-hmm. But then I hate to say that it leveled off, but that's what it did. It went back to normal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So normal amount of trash.
Yeah.
Another horrible one I noticed is Courtney Campbell Causeway. That one, I feel like there's probably like a divide, since it's like the Pinellas Hillsborough line in there. But I think it was like a month or two ago, and I had been driving down on the beach side, and it's worse than I've ever seen Dunedin Causeway too. Something. So if that's ever on your list, that would take a whole weekend, maybe a whole month to try to clean up that mess of stuff. It's just like beer bottles and all that stuff. It's like, there's trash cans, people. Just go use them.
Well, yeah. Yeah. So since you mentioned trash cans, I always try to explain to people that 100% of the trash on the beach is not because of people. Probably 98%, but 100% of it is not because of people. Trash cans get full. Birds are scavengers. Birds throw trash on the ground. The wind blows it. It looks like it's caused by people. It's not necessarily. I don't blame people 100% of the time.
Unless it's beer bottles. Then it's
Unless it's beer bottles, because they did not drag those out.
Yeah,
probably not. Yeah.
that's true.
Drunken seagulls.
Yeah, the drunken seagulls are the ones making the mess.
Only during the summer months. They don't typically drink in the winter.
Well, they need a good refreshing beverage. They're out in the
stealing
hot sun.
Cheetos. Yeah, stealing people's food, attacking them, like hoping they have food. So it's a hard life. These seagulls have.
That is so true though, that, I always think it's people and I'm like, these disgusting human beings, but it makes a lot of sense that, you do see the trash cans overflow, and I don't know if it's that they're not getting picked up as regularly, or they just fill up more than trash cans in, say, a park or something. But yeah, you're right. I mean, it blows all over the place as soon as the wind picks up, and it's kind of hard to control.
Yeah. And I don't think there's anybody to blame on that. I mean, you can be out there at the causeway at 10 o'clock in the morning. The trash was empty when you got there at 8. By 10:30, it's full. I can't expect anybody to come through and clean it every 2 hours or empty it every 2 hours. So, there's no one to blame for that. I see the city doing it. I know they're doing it.
Yeah.
But, weekends it's pretty overwhelming for everybody. And then you tack on spring break and the summer breaks, and it's more than most people can handle.
So what do you guys do with the trash? You don't put them into the trash cans, do you? Or do you take it away?
No, we take it away.
You just put it right back onto the beach.
Yeah, we just pile it in there, and then if it doesn't fit, it sits beside it. Yeah, exactly. No, we haul it away.
Well, I was going to say that's why it's so great that you guys do this, because there isn't, it's too much for the city to constantly be on it on the weekends. And, that's why I think you recently received an award from them. Is that correct?
That's correct.
So tell us about that. What was the award?
Yeah, so it came as a shock to us. It was a long name. The Committee on Environmental Quality. They presented us with the 2020 Dunedin Green Scene Environmental Advocate Award for Nonprofit Organization. That was a mouthful.
Wow.
But
that's the whole certificate.
The whole thing was just explaining it. But it's basically for promoting a healthy and sustainable planet. So this organization within the city of Dunedin, they presented the awards to a nonprofit, a small business, retail, and one other category I can't remember. So there were only 3 of us. So I mean, we were extremely honored to receive it. It did catch us off guard. We don't do this for the awards, I can promise you.
Well, you didn't even know one with that lengthy of a name existed before this, I'm sure.
It's too much for me.
Well, congratulations. That is awesome. That really is cool. So tell us about, let me ask you this. Do you guys hold fundraisers? We
don't yet. So we are just, COVID messed us up. We created the 501c3 in early 2019. Mm-hmm. So we were just understanding how all of that worked. And so lining up different things here and there, and then COVID hit and just said no to all your plans, just like it did everybody else. Mm-hmm. So we're just getting started again. We've done very small fundraisers. Mm-hmm. We did a big event in June of 2019 where technically we still weren't a 501c3 because that process is lengthy. It's a 6-month process dealing with the government. So, we did that, and we actually had Jeep clubs from 2 Jeep clubs from Orlando show up for the cleanup. Several from the Tampa area. We had a couple who was traveling from New York doing a route raising money similar to the way we got started. They were doing the same thing, starting in New York, coming down to Florida with one stop in Florida, and it was our cleanup to turn around and go back up. And so they were raising awareness for different causes, and that was the one that they chose for Florida.
Wow, that's
so
cool.
That's technically that's our only fundraiser. We don't really do any type of organized fundraisers. We have strictly used the profits from the clothing to fund this.
Nice.
We have since recently picked up a couple of sponsors that are doing stuff. I wish I had them on me, but Yeetz Sunglasses, which is a local St. Pete company, they do sunglasses for the water sports enthusiast. And they have a new pair of sunglasses that are they're literally called Salty Souls. Cool. And they will be released next week, and $5 of every pair goes to the foundation.
Wow, that's awesome.
Nice.
That's really cool. And if someone wants to purchase some of the merchandise, is it available on your website?
It is. So you can get to it one of 2 ways. If you go to the foundation site, you can go to saltysoulfoundation.org, and you can see all of the information about the foundation, including, trash collection totals, sign up for events, stuff like that. But there's also a merchandise link that'll take you over to saltysoul.com, which is the clothing.
Nice.
And the clothing is separated by 100% of the profits go to the foundation for this category, and then over here it's 25% goes to the foundation.
Gotcha. Okay.
And so I've got I'm gonna say fundraiser idea for the future: 5K beach cleanup on the causeway. You have to run and collect trash all at the same time.
Do you get do you get
like
your medal
rally,
based on how much trash you can carry as you're running?
Well, you'd have to find how to secure it so people aren't just like running and like it's spreading even worse all over the place. But like you can have like designated stops or something, and then like you drop the trash off, you like how fast you make, like a relay race.
Oh, like a supermarket sweep.
There you go. And
however much trash you can pick up. Yeah.
And then you weigh it at each stop, and then that's your drop zone. You keep running, keep getting the trash.
John, we have all kinds of ideas.
Yeah.
I hope somebody's taking notes.
You'll be able to re-listen to this podcast in case you're like, what was that idea she had? Yeah. What was that? Free of charge. That's what we do for our guests.
Yep. Just, as much trash as you can pick up in 60 seconds. Go. That sort of thing.
There you go.
All right. So tell us, what events do you have coming up next?
All right. So like I said, we are the second Saturday of every month, with the exception of July. We take that month off. That is our
too hot.
Well, it is too hot. But to be fair, it's just as hot in June and August as well.
We like to tell ourselves that it's just hot 1 month.
I agree. We do the same thing, but that's when we try to take vacation. So, but yeah, so we second Saturday of every month. And just to go with that, it's 9 to 12 until we get to the hot months of June, August, September. We do 8 to 11. Just to try to get out there a little earlier, and so that we're not dripping wet with sweat. Because I know I am by the time I get the table set up and the buckets out.
Yeah.
Yeah. My wife and I are completely soaked by the time we even see the first volunteer.
Well, good thing you guys are on the causeway, though, because you can always just do a dash into the water.
Dash the relay.
That's true.
Yeah. Incorporate that into the relay we have.
Where's your starting point that you guys meet up at?
All right. So we are typically set up, not typically, always set up just before you get to the restrooms on the southern shore, just east of the restrooms. We have a fairly distinct vehicle. We drive a white Jeep truck with a white trailer, and we'll have, flags flying. You're not going to miss us. So when you're coming in, we're on the left. Just look for the flags flying. We're there.
Gotcha. And can different organizations or individuals or businesses sponsor a cleanup? And how
Absolutely.
would they do that?
So we have different organizations reach out to us all the time. Some of them want to do cleanups on their own. We had Forward Pinellas. I probably got that wrong. It's an organization based in Clearwater. We'll go with it. They reached out to us. They wanted to do their cleanup on Monday. And so they stopped by, picked up enough buckets and grabbers and bags and gloves and everything, and they did their cleanup on Monday. But otherwise, yeah, we typically have a co-host or sponsor every cleanup.
Nice.
This past one in May was big because it was our new corporate sponsors. So they were all there. They were help promoting it. The Florida Ski Riders group, I'm sure you've seen them. I don't know if you know who they are, but that is every jet skier you've ever seen in the state of Florida is a part of this organization. When you come into the causeway, as soon as you cross over the drawbridge, they are to the left because that's where they can put their jet skis in. And you see those trailers lined up. They were there this past Saturday. They were actually cleaning the spoil islands around and collecting trash and bringing it to us.
Wow.
So we actually go ahead.
That was the and water part that I noticed
That was
added on this part this time.
Yep.
Yeah, land and sea.
Yep. That was part. They were doing that. Let's see. We have kind of permanent sponsors every month. Obviously, Salty Soul Clothing is a sponsor every month. It just kind of comes with the territory. But Yeetz Sunglasses will be a permanent. You have, I just love the name, so I just like to say it. Bye Bye Poo.
It's fun.
Bye Bye Poo is a subscription service for removing dog poo from your backyard.
I heard of that.
Yep.
Yeah.
They are big sponsors, and so they are a continual sponsor every month. And also Alpha Forward, which is a clothing line based out of Oldsmar. Cool. But we do have, February we had Yoga 6, which was a yoga studio in Clearwater. August we have Muddy Mantra, which is also it's a new yoga studio and aerial acrobatics. I probably got that wrong.
No, right.
Up in Palm Harbor.
That's right.
Okay. All right. Up in Palm Harbor. So they reached out to us. They did one a couple of years ago and wanted to do it again. So we always have them come out, and they'll come out. They usually bring a good group of 10 to 20 people that are patrons of their business. So that helps.
Nice. Well, perhaps in the future we'll do a Meet Us on Main Street one.
Sounds good to me.
Hey.
All right. So how would someone sign up for the cleanup? Would they just show up, or do they have to sign up online in advance? So
we do a sign up online in advance. And that's really just for our sanity, so that we know how many people to expect. If I need to get there an hour earlier, I need to get there 2 hours early. I need to know. So everything is listed on Facebook and Eventbrite. So all social media platforms, Salty Soul FL. Sorry, I said that fast. Salty Soul FL, as in Florida. And on Eventbrite. So Eventbrite, for the people that don't use social media, Eventbrite's there. But there is, we ask that everyone ends up at Eventbrite, buys a ticket, and by buy, I mean it's a free ticket. It's just a head count. With that, we then send out a quick form for you to fill out. Just, hey, tell us what day you're going to be there. Are you going to have any minors? What are their names? So we have good, accurate counts so that we know that 40% of our volunteers are under the age of 18. Mm-hmm. That's good to know. And we actually have a really good turnout from high school students. They want to help. They need volunteer hours. Mm-hmm. So it's a win-win.
Yep, exactly. Well, great. So one last question for you, John. Is there any other way that someone can support your organization if they wanted to be a regular volunteer or donate money? How would they do that?
So all of that can be found at saltysoulfoundation.org. Oddly enough, I mentioned Rhode Island. We have people donating the money from Rhode Island, Arizona, who will go with that, as there is no coastal property in Arizona. So, but they believe in what we're doing. And so they donate, and that money is what, we have buckets, gloves, bags, grabbers, all these are expenses. And that's what it goes to help. And, like I said earlier, we want to grow. We want to have monthly beach cleanups in Dunedin, but we also want to have them at, say, Treasure Island, Key West, mm-hmm. Panama City, Daytona Beach. We want it to grow. We want to grow this entire operation.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, I think what you're doing is awesome. And we're so lucky to have you guys right here in Dunedin cleaning up the causeway every month. And thank you from both Tia and I for doing that. We're excited to join you next month for the June 12th cleanup.
We look forward to having you.
I just typed in Eventbrite too, so that I remembered to do tickets, because I would have just showed up and been like, yeah, I was like, I'm going to put this website up. So I remember to finish that.
Perfect. All right. Well, John, we have something special planned for you. Tia has a fun little game to play. So stay tuned.
All right.
Hey guys, meet us on Main Street here. Stacy and I are all about staying young and beautiful, so we wanted to share with you a salon that we recently discovered to take care of all of our beauty needs.
That's right, Tia. Beauty on Broadway offers everything from the most complex hair treatments like keratin and balayage to advanced permanent makeup for lips, brows, eyeliner, and even scalp micropigmentation. The owner, Mary Katz, is a nationally certified and recognized trainer for permanent makeup who holds over 25 certifications from the most prominent artists around the world. So she really knows her stuff.
And everyone who works there are true professionals who make sure their clients get exactly what they want.
You know what else is awesome about them? They do free paramedical tattooing for all breast cancer survivors.
That is awesome. And they were just ranked among the best in the nation for their COVID-19 procedures. So you have a clean and safe space to go get away from the world and just let loose.
You guys seriously need to go check them out. Visit their website for more information and to make your appointment today at beautyonbroadway.salon.
All right, John, thank you for your patience and welcome back to the game portion of our podcast episode. Are you terrified?
I always.
Perfect.
Always.
That's exactly the state of mind we want you in for this game. All right, so we have chosen a We by Me and Stacy by extension. We have chosen a BuzzFeed game for you, and I'm going to share my screen so that you can see the answers and will make life easier. I don't know why I haven't been doing this all year long. And it's called How Much Random Knowledge is Just Uselessly Rolling Around in Your Head. So we're about to find out, right? Isn't that exciting?
You never know what to expect here on Meet Us on Main Street.
So I'm going to share my screen so you're going to be able to see the answers, but I'm still going to read them out for our podcast listeners for dramatic effect. So let's see how much random knowledge you have inside your head. All right. Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn. Where does that quote come from?
Gone with the Wind.
Ding, ding, ding. Which of the following fruits has the most potassium?
I'm going to go with banana.
I would have went with banana too,
I
but
would've
apparently
guessed
it's
banana
kiwi.
too.
Who's the author of The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings?
J.R.R. Tolkien.
And correct. That's all they had to say about that one. Which word refers to the fear of long words?
I'm going to go with trypophobia because it's the only one that I can pronounce that looks legit.
Right? Like, I'm going to laugh if it's long wordophobia. Be like, wow, they really didn't even try for that one. All right. Oh, it's freaking hippopotamus phobia.
It's the hippopotamus monster one.
All right. How many letters are in the longest word?
I'm going to go with 193 because nothing else seems reasonable, which probably makes me wrong.
I'm going to go with it's probably 500,000 because of that. All right. Let's see. Wrong. 189,800. What is that even? Okay. No joke. The word takes about 3.5 hours to pronounce and is the name of a protein called Titan. Well, that's 5 letters.
The nickname is to save time.
Just say, why didn't they just call it Titan? How many known moons orbit around Jupiter?
Oh, my science teachers are going to come after me after this.
They're listening. They're our biggest fans.
I know they are. Yeah, I'm afraid of that. I'm going to go with 5.
All right.
But it's probably 79.
It's going to be 1,000 the way that this game has been
going. I don't think it's 1,000. Yeah, the way it's going, yes.
All right, 5. It's 79. But
Yeah.
you said that was
you
your
should have
backup,
gone
right?
with 79.
It was my backup.
That's a lot
It just
of
sounded too
moons.
high.
Yeah, right. But good to know so far. You don't have a lot of useless information, so it's all useful information inside your brain.
Yep.
You're just asking the wrong questions. There's a lot of useful information in here. I've been told that for years.
Oh, all right. About how many weeks are in a year?
Oh boy.
I'm going to go with the confident answer of 52 on this one.
That's what we've all been raised to think, but who knows, right? Let's find out.
The fact that it says about scares me.
Yeah. What do you mean about? How is there more? Oh, yay! Oh, that's why.
52.1429.
How many steps are there on the entire Eiffel Tower?
1665, because it seems like there should be a legitimate reason as to why that number is significant.
All right.
For no other reason.
All right. Oh, yay!
Correct.
All right. What movie based on a Marvel comic book character was released in 1998?
My movie buff friends are going to hate me. Punisher.
All right. I actually think I do know the one to that. And it was Blade. Yeah, I had a feeling.
I thought Blade was in the late 80s.
Well, I knew that Punisher's in 2000s. And then the rest of them were too. And I was pretty sure that Wesley Snipes, that was pre-prison days.
I was just going to say, I thought it was pre-prison Wesley Snipes.
I knew it was Wesley Snipes. That's why I was going further back.
Yeah. All right. Oh, and finally, we've come to an end, I think. And finally, what's the exact date that the internet was created?
This is a stumper.
I know.
Let's go with 83.
All right. Oh, it was correct. They held out. So congratulations. You got 5 out of 10 correct, which makes you 67% better than all the other people that have taken this quiz. So congratulations.
I'll take that.
On that.
Job well done. And your prize will be a Meet Us on Main Street coloring page that will be emailed to you.
All right. Thank you so much, John.
And thank you for having me.
Thank you so much to John for being on the show today. It was great to learn more about the Salty Soul Foundation, and we can't wait to join you next month on the 12th.
We will be there. All right, guys. So we've got some events coming up that we have handpicked personally for our lovely listeners from the dates of 5/20 through 6/2. Stacy, you want to start us off? No, because it's mine to go first. So I will be starting us off. So on 5/20, there is Glow Yoga at Blur, hosted by Muddy Mantra. And that starts at 7 p.m. You can get your tickets on Facebook. So go on and get your glow stretch on.
And then on Sunday, 5/23 from 9 to 4, there's going to be a Sunday Fun Day event with yoga, live music, and a blood drive hosted by Hands at Heart Yoga. So for more information on that, as well as the address of where it will be held, check out Facebook under the Hands at Heart Yoga page.
And then on 5/22 through 5/23, starting at 11 a.m., Safety Harbor Waterfront Punk or Park, either one, is hosting their Art and Seafood on the Waterfront Festival. It is a free 2-day event, and it's going to have such entertainment as the locally famous Black Honkies. So go on and check that out this weekend.
And then rounding out our picks of events for the next couple of weeks, on Monday, May 24th, there's going to be a full moon party at Postcard Inn on the beach. There's going to be live music, sips and bites, fire dancers, tarot readings, henna, retail, and more. So check that out and get your tickets on the Postcard Inn on the Beach Facebook page.
I am super excited for that and more. Can't wait. All right, guys, thank you so much for listening. We appreciate you. As always, rate, review, and subscribe. Find us everywhere. Like us everywhere.
Until next time.
Good day. Goodbye. And in case we don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. We're just going to start stealing people's sign-offs.
Good night and good luck.